How did a Division III player end up playing professional basketball? 2 years ago, I finished my last season at Pacific University, and I thought my basketball career was over. But little did I know, it was just getting started. Two years ago, I thought I was done with basketball. I had no pro offers, no overseas connections, and I was just a D3 hooper getting ready for job interviews. Then out of nowhere, I got a message that completely changed my life. I was never one of those highly recruited players. In high school, I wasn't some standout. I was your average Asian hooper playing in Asian leagues in the summer. I didn't even think about playing college ball until my junior year. That's when I started messaging coaches, going to showcase camps, and eventually, I ended up playing at Pacific University, a D3 school in Oregon. But 4 years flew by, and just like that, my basketball career was over. But a few days later, I got a DM on Instagram from an agent in Taiwan. He had asked if I had any Taiwanese or Chinese heritage because there might be an opportunity to play overseas. And since my dad was born in Taiwan, I technically qualified to play there. But at first, I didn't take it seriously at all. I remember telling my dad about the message, and we both kind of laughed and was like, that would be pretty cool. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized, why not? I didn't have anything to lose, and worst case, I go, it doesn't work out, and I move back home and just interview for jobs again. But the best case, I get a shot at something I never even thought was possible. So I said, screw it, I'm going all in. And my agent said that I would just go work out with teams and try to get signed before the start of the season in November. It was scary though. At that time, I had just started dating my girlfriend, and I had to tell her that I was going to pursue professional basketball, which is not a conversation that people hear every day. And it was really hard for her to understand it at this point, but ever since then, she's been my #1 fan. So in April, I packed my bags and flew to Taiwan. I had no idea what to expect, no guarantees, nothing. Just me trying to prove I belonged. So I get to Taiwan and I start working out with different teams, just trying to get my foot in the door. Months went by and I moved on from team to team, but I ended up practicing with one team for a while and I was playing well. I was so close to getting an offer, but there was a problem. Because of the league's eligibility rules, I wasn't considered a free agent yet, which meant I couldn't actually sign with the team. So I was sort of stuck practicing, hoping my agent could figure something out. He eventually connected with some people he knew and told me that if I played in this tournament in the Philippines, it might reset my status and allow me to come back as a free agent. So a few weeks later, I flew to the Philippines to play in this tournament with a team from California called Statham Academy. The plan was simple. Go join this team and sit on the bench for 2 weeks, come back and be considered a free agent, and sign with this team in Taiwan. I didn't expect to play much, but some of the guys on the team got injured, and I ended up playing really well, and it was sort of my first professional stint. And I ended up making some real connections and friendships with my teammates. But when I got back, I found out the league didn't count that tournament. I still wasn't eligible. And by that point, I had already worked out with 5 different teams, and every single one rejected me. So I was in Taiwan with no contract, no real plan, and no idea what was next. By December, my family came to visit me, and it was the first time I had seen them since leaving for Taiwan. I remember sitting with my parents and telling them, I think I'm done and I want to go home. And this was a tough conversation because for the last 7 months I'd poured everything I'd had into this, and I felt like I'd failed. But my dad and I had a long talk, and he reminded me that if this was something that I still wanted, I couldn't let a few closed doors be the reason I walked away. So eventually I decided to go home for a few months. I was going to train harder than ever and come back before the next season started, and pretty much do the same thing again with a new agent and make sure my eligibility was taken care of. But while I was home, I got a message from a teammate that I played with in the Philippines, and he told me another agent had reached out to him, asking if he knew any Taiwanese guards who were open to playing in a new league called the Asian Tournament. It was a league where teams from different countries played against each other, and I looked at this as a great opportunity to gain exposure, experience, and get my name out there so that I can gain some attention from teams in Taiwan. But honestly, looking back, this was totally a sign from God. And my parents tell me all the time about how God opens and closes doors, and for an opportunity like this to come out of nowhere was no coincidence. But at that point, I had nothing to lose, so I decided to join the Mustangs, a new team in the TAT. This was honestly one of the best decisions I could have made, because it gave me the opportunity to play in a professional environment, gain experience, and travel different countries. We played in China, the Philippines, and Taiwan, and then I got the opportunity of a lifetime. I got to team up with Dwight Howard, DeMarcus Cousins, and Quinn Cook in Taiwan. And as a Laker fan, getting to play with 3 former Lakers was something I could have never imagined. But during the TAT, I ended up playing really well during one of the tournaments and had a breakout game. I showed what I could really do, and people noticed. After that game, a few teams in Taiwan began reaching out to my agent asking about me, one of them being the Tainan Ghost Hawks, where I'm currently signed. My agent scheduled a 2-day workout with them, and I just told myself to play my heart out and leave it in God's hands. I felt so much more confident than when I first came to Taiwan to try out with teams, and a few days after the workouts, I received an official offer from the team. But since being here, I've been able to make incredible friendships, grow as a person and as a player, and I even got to play against my idol growing up, Jeremy Lin, and to be able to be face to face with him was truly surreal. Looking back, I can see clearly how God was guiding me the entire time. I didn't understand it then, but every closed door was leading me to something better. He let me fail so that I could grow, trust in Him more, and be ready when the right opportunity came. And honestly, it's still not easy. Being a pro doesn't mean everything is smooth sailing. I still struggle, I still have doubts, but I also know how far I've come. And no matter what happens next, I'm just grateful for this journey. Grateful for the struggles and grateful to still be playing the game that I love. But I appreciate you guys for watching. I'm trying to reach the 2,000 subscriber mark, so be sure to like, comment, and share this video to someone.